PCSS Connection. Well, history is being made right here in the Putnam County School System. That's right. Bonza Auberson, a senior at Cookeville High, has been named to the Tennessee State Board of Education. Bonza will serve as the student representative, representing all the public students in the state of Tennessee and becoming the first Putnam County student to ever have this distinction. And joining us now is Bonza Auberson, the newest member of the Tennessee State Board of Education. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah. So how did all this come about?
So my mom kind of brought the idea up to me from Miss Trinham, our principal at CHS, and Bubba Winningham, who works here.
Yeah.
And they had kind of been like, Bonza looks like a great student for this, we think she'd do great. And my mom was like, okay, so we started filling out the paperwork and everything, and it took a few months for them to get the paperwork back and get back and say that we're going to do a phone interview. So I was like, okay, well, that's a good step, Yeah. They've seen the application and everything.
Right.
And I got that call actually when I was in New York this summer. I was on the streets of New York, and they were like, we would love to set up a meeting. And I was like, well, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now. So once I got back from that trip, I did an online interview with an assistant from Billy's office. And he took all the information from there to Billy, and then after that, I got an email saying I was appointed. So, yeah, it was kind of a crazy process.
Oh. So, two things stand out. One is that when you go to Nashville and you sit on the board, you're going to be representing pretty much all the public students in the state of Tennessee.
Yes.
The second is you're the first Putnam County student to ever have this distinction.
Yes.
And Putnam County Schools have been around for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, when you hear those two things, how does that make you feel?
I feel very honored, and it kind of doesn't feel real, It's still setting in, and I think after this first workshop and meeting, it'll feel more impactful, I would say. But it's a great honor, and I'm so glad to be there and just learn all about it. It seems really interesting and cool, and all the people that I've been around have been so nice, and it's a great environment to be in, so I'm very excited about it.
Well, now you went to Allgood Middle School.
Yes.
Before going to Cookeville High School, and you were in the Beta Club there, Beta Leadership Camp, chorus, band, 4-H. We got a nice little sheet of all the things that she's done. So we'll just talk about some of these things.
Okay, yes.
And then this past summer, you were selected to participate in Volunteer Girl State, and you're the mayor of your city. So I was at Boys State a long time ago, so I know what that's like. And that's an honor in itself to be, to be elected mayor of your own city.
For sure.
So is this kind of a, something that you had aspired to do? Is there a political background, a leadership background that you just feel like you've taken the steps to get to this point?
For sure, yes. I've always been in a lot of leadership roles through middle school. I loved the idea of learning more about it, and being surrounded with my peers and being able to voice what they love. Yeah. I find that very fulfilling. And when I was at Girl State, I got to meet so many lovely ladies.
Yes.
And it was a great way to get into leadership, and I definitely say it has led me here for sure, given me the tools to use. But yeah, all of those things have definitely added to where I am today.
Well, a couple of things stood out to me. Having worked at the newspaper here in town for 16 years, I saw where you were a member of the Allgood newspaper and then a member of the Charger at Cookeville High. So is journalism something that you're interested in?
I would say yes. It's very intriguing to me, and working in it and seeing all my other friends' passions within it, it's been very cool. I don't think I will be doing it long term as my future career, but I definitely would love to have an aspect of my life still in journalism. I find it very cool, so yeah.
So what is it that you want to do for your career?
Yes, I am still undecided currently on where I want to go and what I want to major in. I've jumped around between architecture and interior design, and right now I'm kind of set on film production, something in the film realm. I find it very interesting and very cool. I need something that has a balance but also creativity aspects to it, so yeah.
And you speak of creativity, you have been with Stage 1 Studio for a long time. You like to dance.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yes, I've been dancing since I was 3, in so many different aspects of my life, not just at Stage 1. But But yes, that's definitely where my creativity comes from, and I'd love to keep it because it has been such a big part of my life and such a big passion of mine that just taking it away and out would just be too sad.
Yeah.
So I need to keep it somehow. So
You gotta have that outlet.
yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Now, remember the CHS chorus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Show, a fantastic program, and I've enjoyed it for 4 years, and it's bittersweet to say it's my last, but it will be great. Yes.
Are you going to be involved in the production this year?
I have not been involved in any of the productions before, but I have so many friends within it, and I love going to see them. Depends on what it might be this year. I might dabble a little bit, but we'll have to see. So
Do you feel like it's going to be kind of overwhelming, intimidating maybe a little bit when you go to the first Tennessee State Board of Education meeting and you're sitting there as a representative with all the other board members? I mean, what's that going to be like?
Yes, it's a little daunting for sure. When we were up there, my dad and I went the other day, and we got to see like the boardroom, and I got to go in and get a feel for it. And that just being there in the room felt a little better before everyone else is there. But it will definitely be a little daunting the first time. But at the end of the day, we're all there for the same purpose.
Right.
And even though they're adults and I am a student representative, we're all there to do good. And so I think having that in mind will be settling and better to think about. So.
And having the voice of the students. Have you had any students come up and say, hey, I want you to talk about this, or I want you to talk about that? I mean, I probably haven't, but I mean.
Not quite yet, but I have, since my friends know about it, they've been like, you should throw this in, and different things like that. So that's been interesting to hear. But I'm excited to see if more students reach out, and I would love to hear them. Of course, I would take any of the help.
Yeah.
So.
And now, this is a one-year term?
Yes, a 1-year term.
Yeah. And if you like it, do you think this is something you might pursue just in different avenues, later on? I mean, we have a school board here for Putnam County Education. There's all kinds of boards out there. What kind of experience do you think you're going to gain from this?
I definitely see myself enjoying it and maybe potentially having something similar in the future, like sitting on a school board or something similar. I think it's definitely a big leadership role, and I will gain more skills in that aspect of my life. But I don't know about politics, It's kind of scary when you're a student and you're not quite an adult yet looking at politics. But it's always good to dabble and put your toes in. And so I'd say it's definitely an option for now.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So, have you taken the ACT?
I have.
All right. And then, senior year, what schools are you looking to go to?
Yes, I've taken the ACT 3 times.
Okay.
And I'll probably take it a 4th and a 5th, who knows.
Right.
But the colleges for right now, definitely in Tennessee. UTK is a big contender for me right now. I've toured Belmont as well, which is a beautiful campus. I want to go to UTC too, just to see how it's down there. But yeah, definitely a Tennessee school, I think.
Awesome.
It's where home is, might as well stay.
What are you hoping to get out of your senior year? I mean, everybody looks forward to their senior year of school. What is it that you really want when you look back and say, man, I enjoyed my senior year because what?
I would definitely say I want to spend the year with my friends. I have so many different friends, and they're going to do so many great things and go to so many different places. And so kind of putting that cap on our childhood together and spending the year together, I think will be a great end to high school.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Bonza Auberson, the first Putnam County student to ever be on the Tennessee State Board of Education, and the only student in the state of Tennessee to currently be on the Tennessee State Board of Education. Congratulations. This is awesome. This is a very proud moment for Allgood Middle School, for Cookeville High. Where'd you go to elementary school?
I was at Prescott until 2nd grade and then moved to Allgood.
Okay,
so,
there you go. Yeah. So everybody involved for the school system. So you're carrying the mantle of everybody.
Yes.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
And joining us now is the principal of Avery Trace Middle School, Alma Anderson. Alma, welcome to the PCSS Connection. And we were just talking, and you said you've been around Avery Trace for a little while.
Just a little while, buddy. Thank you for bringing it up. I taught my very first year at the old Cookeville Junior High, which is now part of Tennessee Tech.
Right.
And my second year and all years previous, or since have been at Avery Trace Middle School.
Wow. To be in one school for that long of a time, a lot of people don't stay in one school for a long time. They jump around. What made you want to stay at Avery Trace for that long?
First of all, my heart's in middle school, 100%. And I taught 8th grade U.S. history, and I love all histories, but I particularly love U.S. history, and love 8th graders, and just always enjoyed that so much. And it just, then one thing led to another, and the next thing you know, you're the principal.
Now, how long have you been a principal at Avery Trace?
This is starting my 6th year.
Yeah.
Yes,
and now
sir.
with the school just getting underway, how's everything been going to start out the new school year?
We have had a fabulous start to the school year. I'm very, very pleased and very happy with it. Our lunches have run on time. Our classes are all there. Our teachers have been wonderful when they've caught something that needs to be fixed. They've done it and told us about it. And the car line has been really good this year, and generally speaking, I've never had a better start to a school year.
Oh,
it's
that's
wonderful.
Great. Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. Well, who is your staff? Who are your assistant principals that you have with you?
Karen Maddox is the assistant principal to the 5th and 6th grade, and then Sam Story is new to our building and new to Putnam County. He came from Watertown, and he's our new assistant principal for 7-8, and he's also our athletic director.
Great. And is he making a good transition so far?
I think so. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And Avery Trace is looking pretty good in football so far.
Always. I don't want to brag, but I will.
Now, what is it about middle school that has captured your heart? Why middle school?
I love that they're a little bit mature, and yet they still have a lot of childlike qualities.
Yeah.
I'm not good with the tie my shoe, button my shirts age. I'm good with them on one-on-one basis or 1-to-2 basis. But when I did some work with younger students, I just didn't have that capacity.
Yeah.
And with 7th and 8th graders, 5th and 6th graders too, but mainly the 7th and 8th graders, particularly in U.S. history, I would see them begin to really start the critical thinking, and I just enjoyed that age level.
Yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about you and your family, and have you had kids that's come through the system? And that kind of
yes, I had. As a matter of fact, when my daughter graduated from high school, I sent a letter to the editor saying how proud we were of the education she got here at Avery, at Putnam County.
Yeah.
And I feel that same way with my son. Both of them went away, went to college. Our daughter went to Center College in Kentucky, and then our son went to East Tennessee State University.
Right.
And both of them had the opportunity to go where they wanted to go and pursue what they wanted to pursue. And our daughter came back, and after both of them were gone for 10 years, and both of them came back, and our daughter has gotten her master's degree at Tennessee Tech.
Oh, great.
So, yeah.
Now, what year did your daughter graduate?
Oh, from
high school?
High school? Okay, good. I'm glad you asked that one because I remember hers.
Yeah.
She graduated 2001.
Oh, 2001.
Yeah,
Oh,
and my
okay.
son graduated 2006. There are 4 years difference in age.
I was trying to do the math and see, Charles Denning would have been the editor that you sent the letter to the editor to
Yes.
in 2001.
Yeah, I did.
At the
Yeah,
Herald Citizen.
I
yes.
did. I'm really proud of Putnam County Schools, and when you go at the end of their when you go to those senior, I forget what they call them, but when they get together and name out where all the students are going,
Yeah.
how much money,
Yeah,
and
awards day and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's impressive.
It is.
Putnam County sends people all over the world, and they are successful, and we all should be proud of that.
Now, are you from Putnam County?
No, sir, I'm not. I'm an Army brat. My dad was in the military, and I've lived longer in Cookeville than I lived anywhere. Well, of course, I'm older, but, I graduated from high school in Goodlettsville,
Okay.
Tennessee,
Yeah.
and came to Tech. But prior to that, we'd lived all over the world.
Gotcha. So you graduated from Tennessee Tech and decided to stay in Cookeville after that?
Yes, there's something about getting married in there.
That just kept you here.
That just kept me here, and I'm very happy to be here.
Well, talk a little bit about being a middle school principal in 2024. I'm sure school is different now than it was when you started.
Sure.
What do you see as some of those differences? And as a principal, what are some of the things that maybe you'll deal with now that you didn't have to deal with before, or is it something that just continues to evolve?
I think one of the things that I've seen over the years, of course, is like anybody would say this, is just technology.
Yeah.
When you think about little bitty kids, like less than a year old, swiping on the phone because they know
Yes.
that's how to get to Bluey or
Yeah.
whatever. And that's one of the big things, but that's not bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be, but honestly, it's really taught students how to search and how to research.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing. I feel like we are much more in tune with the emotional part
Yes.
of teaching. We're trying
Feelings.
to be, yes, trying to be more caring, trying to be more understanding. And I feel like that's been a huge change,
Yeah.
that teachers no longer are up there, the sage on the stage.
Right. Yeah.
They are working with kids and trying to engage students and trying to encourage that critical thinking.
Yeah, I think that is a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing that I've seen over the years is how that we are moving to everybody being on the same curriculum, working towards the
Yeah.
same goal.
Right.
And that really is a wonderful thing, to be able to know that the materials that you are using are standardized, data-based, and
Yeah.
you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, and you can't go rogue either.
Yes, yeah.
You can't go wrong and you can't go rogue because, you know as well as I do, there have been some teachers that pretty much just had their own curriculum and they were going to teach what they wanted to teach, and that's the way it was.
Yeah.
And we really don't have that, not in Putnam County anyway.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree. And, it's that also that sense of work smarter than harder.
Yeah.
When two people are together working,
Yes.
you're going to find the division of labor
Yeah.
being a lot better.
Yeah, those professional learning communities that
Yes.
they keep talking about, is the collaboration and things like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
makes it better. So when Alma Anderson is not a principal at Avery Trace, what is she doing?
Well, I'm reading books. Obviously, you would be reading books, but I read books. I love to be outside, not in this heat, but usually. And I do serve on the hospital board,
Right.
which that's very interesting because there are parallels to what we're doing in education
Yeah.
and what's happening in the medical field
Yeah.
too, and love being with my family, love being with my friends, and just generally I cook a lot. And well, my family won't say I've been cooking this week and last week.
You've been busy. It's school starting. I mean, come on. They can take you out for the first couple of weeks
yeah.
of school.
Yeah.
We got plenty of restaurants to hit.
Generally, I do like to be in my kitchen doing food and stuff like that, trying to be healthy, trying to walk. It's harder to walk in this heat.
It is.
And
I do it in the morning or the evening.
Yeah. Or thank goodness
Inside.
Avery Trace is huge, and I get my steps
Yes, you
in
can.
practically every day.
My goodness. Well, I know that you're a community servant, and just like being on the hospital board, you dabbled in politics a little bit. You were on the city council for a little while. What kind of an experience was that as an educator, and what made you want to be on the city council?
I just always have had a servant's heart.
Yeah.
And some folks came to me and said, would you be interested in running on the city council?
Mm-hmm.
And my son was getting ready to graduate from high school, and I've always had an interest in government due to the U.S. history and all of that.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it was a good way for me to give back to my community.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, I loved serving on city council.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
And you did it at a time where there had not ever been very many women serve on the Cookeville City Council. I mean, you could talk about Jean Davis and Connie Albright.
And Betty Vaden. It was
Betty Vaden.
Betty,
Yeah.
Jean, Betty, Alma, then Connie.
Yeah.
So, I really enjoyed my time on the city council. And now I'm doing, and I always worked for my church too.
Sure.
I taught Sunday school 18 years straight. And I said that I would teach Sunday school as long as my children were in it, and I did. And then now I'm serving on the hospital board, and the difference is that's an appointed position as opposed to an elected position.
Yeah.
But your eyes get opened when you do something like that, and I felt like it brought something to me as a teacher too. The students saw me doing civic service, and that was interesting.
Are there any classes, because we talked about curriculum, and last week Corby King, Director of Schools, we talked about curriculum, and you even talked about it kind of system-wide. Are there any classes that maybe we don't have that you wish we still had, or do you think is there a class that we need in our curriculum that maybe we need to look at adding to it? Because I think of some things that you want your kids to learn when they're in school, and nobody's ever said, "Hey, well, let's just have a class for this."
Yeah. One of the things that I do think, and mind you, I'm out of the high school loop now that my children are no longer in the high school loop. One of the things that I think would be beneficial, and I'm not sure that they don't have this, but is just a regular money class. Just plain old.
We had an economics class.
Yes.
Back when I was in school, it taught you how to write a check and balance your checkbook and those things, budget and things like that.
And I don't see that could be a year-long thing. And they do personal finance, and they do that at the high school, and I think that's great. And I'm not sure that everybody has to take it. I think they do.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm, and then the other thing, this really dates me, but I don't know if you remember having civics class.
I was going to bring up civics. It's exactly what I was going to bring, because I think that was an outstanding class to have. Civics class.
Yes. We one of the things I had to watch when I was a U.S. history teacher is when it was time to do the Constitution unit. I I had a hard time letting it go.
Yeah.
I loved it so much,
Right.
and
Yeah,
and I'm
civics.
very sympathetic to these teachers, except for, I know you
Yes.
need to move on. You need
Yeah.
to teach the standard
Right.
and move on, but I really loved teaching that.
Yeah.
I'll tell a funny story about it to introduce the Constitution to my students, 8th graders.
Right.
I would give them a 10-question quiz, pre-quiz, the day before we were getting ready to start. And it was 10 questions that were off of the naturalization test.
Yes.
Okay? The test that you have to take to become a citizen.
Yes.
Just 10.
Yes.
And we would take the test.
Right.
And then
Who's
at
your
the-
senator? Who's your congressman?
well,
Who's-
and stuff
who's
like
the president?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what are the three branches
Branches
of
of
government?
government, yes.
And it was just a very simple test. But here's the caveat: when I devised the test, I made up the test. I took the questions
Yes.
off of the test, and I just came up with a 10-question quiz. When I devised the test, I called my mother. And my mother was a German war bride,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
All right, so she married my dad in 1948,
Yeah.
spoke very little English.
Okay.
And she became a U.S. citizen in 1960 with 4 children.
Wow.
All right, so by this time, she's
Yeah.
older. And I called her up and I said, "You've got to take this test." And she didn't want to do it. I said, "Mama, you've got to do it for me. Please do it."
Come on.
And she made a 100.
That's awesome.
And so I would always tell my students,
if your mom can pass the
Yes.
test, they should be able to.
yeah, you're born here. Most
Yes.
of them were born here. So it was always, and it always excited the students
Yeah.
because then they saw, well, yeah, I need to know about my country.
Absolutely. Well, I think we should create a movement to bring civics back. Let's bring civics back to our students.
You'll be the
Yes.
first person I call for that
I will
petition.
glad to speak to the
That's
civics
it.
class. Yes, would love it. Alma Anderson, principal at Avery Trace. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about?
Not really. I'm excited about this school year, and every year at the beginning of the year, I get so excited.
Yeah.
And one of the things I enjoy, I'm out there car duty first
Yeah.
thing in the morning,
Right.
and I think it's so cute. So many of the kids coming in with brand new shoes, and I love that. I just
They
think,
look good, don't they?
yeah, they do. They do. I need to get me a pair.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us, and just good luck on another great year at Avery Trace.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
So the first 2 weeks of school is in the books, and one of the cool things that happened during the first 2 weeks was the Special Needs Day at the Putnam County Fair. Had a chance to go out there and get some video of the kids having a great time. So as we wrap things up here on the PCSS Connection, check out this video. Have a great week, and God bless.
This is our fair day for our students with special needs, and we come annually. The Fair Board and James Gang open up for us to come for our students who typically do not get to enjoy the fair due to sometimes they can't handle the crowds or their parents can't get them out into the fair, and so they graciously open up the rides for us to come. And this year it's very special because typically they don't open up on Fridays because it's rest day for the James Gang, and this is the first week of school, so we weren't going to be able to come due to, we would have had to come earlier in the week, and that was going to be hard on teachers. So they opened up on Friday for us, which is very special that they have done this on their rest day, so we are so appreciative we're enjoying the day. It's a very nice day, not very hot, and the kids are riding rides and enjoying the day. And we have lots of volunteers here today, from the fire department to the sheriff's department to the ambulance,
Tennessee Highway
the highway patrol. I've got the people from the school board to supervisors to parents. I mean, we have all kind of people here. We have over 400 students with special needs out here, so it's a wonderful day, and we're very blessed to have the support that we have, and that they are so wonderful with our students and letting us come for this great day.
It's a whole community event here, and we're so thankful to have the support that we have from all of our first responders, helping load students on rides, riding rides with our students. For the Fair Board again, and Mr. Auberson mentioned this, for the Fair Board and James Gang, the folks at James Gang are so good to our students on this day, and the smiles on the faces. I know you'll have pictures and lots of that to share, but these kids are having a blast out here. It's just a great day for our students, and we're thankful for community support.